Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and I have a 10-0 video for you with my most powerful team I have ever created. I am a 7-time PvPoke.com training battle champion, or team building champion, and I'm probably one of the most consistent team builders in the entire world. And I've definitely broken this website more than probably any other individual in the world because I've tried to make things like Hydreigon, Bravery, and Chincino work. Anyways, this is my most powerful Great League team. As you see here, I've broken several variations of this team, but this is the most powerful variation. I had a Registeel in the back, I used a regular Shiftry. With regular Shiftry, this actually rivaled the most powerful meta team in Season 3, which was Tropius, Azu, and G-Fisk. It literally had the same rating. So, replacing it with Shadow and doing a little more tests and basically a little more patterns, I figured out that Shadow Shiftry's kill range is a lot stronger than the regular Shiftry. Like, you can take instead of doing 3 foul plays, it takes literally 2. Or instead of 1 foul play and some chip damage, 1 whole foul play can KO entire mons. So because of the damage output, etc., this is why I use Shadow Shiftry. And after testing it out and putting it through the gauntlet, it actually came out as the most powerful team on PvPoke for Season 4. As you see there, it has an insanely powerful rating. I actually wasn't expecting it to be this strong, but I definitely know that I'm the individual. I definitely know that's how I create. If someone else did, I know I'm the one that did a majority of work because I ran through probably hundreds, probably close to 500 or more battles with this exact variation. I practiced it really, really hard, and just because I wanted to I wasn't actually even trying to break into top teams, I was just trying to really test out Shadow Shiftry. And I figured out that I really needed to do a lot more simulations, and I really needed to look at it to see what I could really figure out all my win cons, because Shadow Shiftry is really squishy. Alright, so before you're like, oh my gosh, amazing team, right? Yes, use it. This team is really hard to run. The only reason I'm running it is because I've essentially mastered this team, and there's a reason why I managed to break it into #1 on PvPoke.com. I know almost every win condition for this team no matter what I face. That's just how much I've drilled with it, how much I've practiced. If you really want to run it, there's a tutorial. I made a whole hour-long tutorial. It's in the link below in the description. So if you want to use this team, follow that description. It will help you get a sense of what to do when you fall lead, because the battles with that shoutcast, you're going to see a lot of really unorthodox plays that many people, well, 99% I would say, wouldn't actually do. So hopefully you enjoy these battles. Battle number 1 is going to be something different though. Battle number 1, this is the first set of my Season 7 run. So you expect to see some crazy things, right? Not really. I actually run into some pretty meta stuff. So I'm actually using my Mega Beam team for my number 1. This is what took me to rank 10/3000 ELO in Season 1. It was a team with the literal target of beaming Azumarill. And it worked, and it took me to rank 10. I have no idea. Oh, I know how, but yeah, you're going to see. So Skarmory beats Registeel. Obviously, we all know that. So all I'm going to do is see if my opponent's going to stay in or if they're going to bank out. If not, I'm going to straight Focus Blast. Because of Registeel's nerf, before, if you don't know, there's actually no point for you to bait. It's like 1 more lock-on, and the odds of that 1 lock-on actually mattering, unless it's like 1 HP in a dream, isn't going to matter much. So here I'm just going to straight Focus Blast. Registeel actually used to be in Variation 1 of this team. It replaced Galarian Stunfisk, and what I used to do was basically this. I targeted the flyer pattern that's super popular in the back in Season 2, and is still not really as popular now because of so many things, but it's mixed in with all the other patterns. Because Galarian Stunfisk walls flyers pretty hard, back in the day, Registeel, when it wasn't nerfed, pretty much did the same exact thing. It was Galarian Stunfisk 1.0, but just, it could beat a lot of things like, for example, against the matchup with Azumarill, as you see here, Registeel can actually, back in the day, take out Azumarill pretty handily. It still does, actually. If you look here, if you call it right and you play Registeel expertly, you can do a lot of good things. So, as you see here, I managed to take a shield. I switch in my Tropius because I want to take as many... The goal here is to be in the bunny. So, I got 1 shield, I need the second one. So I give up switch, I throw in my Tropius, and lo and behold, they have their own Registeel. So, all I'm going to do here is Leaf Blade, Leaf Blade, Leaf Blade. My goal here is to basically take this last shield if I can, and send Typhlosion in, get energy, and beam the bunny. That's literally the goal. A lot of Season 1 teams targeted Azumarill. That's why the Starmie Double Grass line was very popular, or very powerful, because so many people had Azumarill. And to this day, Azumarill is still a beast. Now, all I'm going to do is straight Leaf Blade this thing to death. If you get enough Leaf Blades on a Registeel, it will go down. As you see here, my opponent is straight Focus Blasting. I just shielded a Focus Blast. So, I'm assuming this is probably a single-moved Registeel. And I'm very confused as why they're Focus Blasting me. So, I got the last shield, as you see here. I send in my Typhlosion, and guess what? So, here's the technical analysis. If you send in a Typhlosion against an Azumarill that doesn't have any energy, it will never get to a Hydro Pump. Here, it's kind of ballsy, because my Typhlosion's pretty much dead. But as you see here, the Shining Light of Beam goes from the sky, and this is exactly why I made Rank 10 Season 1. Get beamed. I tell you, you beam down the bunny, you claw down the giant hunk of junk, and that's GG's. Anyway, second battle is the Shiftry team, but I hope you enjoyed that. I wish I could bring back that team, but it's too hard to run in this current meta. Actually, since Galarian Stunfisk came out, or in regular Stunfisk, it was really hard to run Mega Beam Team. So, I don't really use it nowadays, unless it's like, I'm just trying to have fun. Or, yeah. That was fun. Anyways, I go into my second battle, so I'm like, alright, what's the worst I could find? And at this point, this is where, if you played Season 1, or if you played, like, yesterday, like, the servers broke for, like, 10 minutes or something like that, where nobody could fight opponents. So it's actually really interesting. As you see here, I'm consistently trying to get back into Go Battle League, but it's not letting me. So I just go back over and over until it finally gives me a match. But that, again, like, Registeel, still very powerful in this meta, but Galarian Stunfisk is too strong. The reason why I made rank 10 in Season 2 was because I replaced Registeel with Galarian Stunfisk. G-Fish just does too well against Flyers. Its pressure, speed, and durability is just why everyone calls it Registeel 2.0. It's just that freaking good, and that's why it's everywhere. And that's why G-Fisk is just so godforsakenly dominant. It can come back and take wins as long as it has shield, it has switch, or if you're really fancy with it, G-Fisk is meta as hell. And so far, since Season 2, I would say there's no other steel type that's really had so much dominance as Galarian Stunfisk has. If you don't use the Pancake, you've probably had the Pancake used against you, and it really sucks. Anyways, we finally got a match after death by Q times. Here I get I think I was shifted into AWAC. Okay, so I lose this hard. But because that's a shiny, I think it's Shadow Bone. But, so my goal is, I actually stay in this matchup. What I'm going to do is, I try to break shields. I try to get that extra Snarl, as you see in there. Now, if a Foul Play lands, I actually win this matchup. So I actually, what will I do? What I do here is, I don't switch out of AWAC. I actually will Leaf Blade bait, and then I Foul Play. Standard procedure. As you see here, yes, Shiftry can take it. Shadow Shiftry is really squishy, but you know what? If the Foul Play lands, guess what happens? As you see here, I lag a little bit, but you take out the Alolan Marowak. Haha! You see, that's what all AWAC leads don't know. Now you know. Now I win Switch, we're in even shield scenarios. I got Obstagoon on my DD. This is fine. DD and Obstagoon isn't a horrible matchup because Obstagoon is double weak to fighters because of its typing, normal and dark. You can actually, you win this pretty handily, and you can actually take both Night Slashes pretty well, as long as it doesn't boost. We take the last shield here. I'm probably expecting my opponent to switch, and sure enough, they switch into Swampert. What I'm going to do here is, I think I do shield. Actually, no, I let it go. I think I live this. Yes, I do live this. And then what I do is I fire the Psycho Boost off. I have a shield. All I basically have to do is fire off this Psycho Boost, Rock Slide or Earthquake this Swampert, as you see here, and then that's GG's. I actually opt to go for the Earthquake because I will get the shield here. My Pancake can still tank a Hydro Cannon if it needs to, and then I can Rock Slide down. If I get to it first, but I get to it first. I take out this Swampert with my Earthquake, and then all I have to do is Rock Slide the big Dark Kiss Goon Rock Star thingy in the back. And I thought Go Battle, I took my soul for a second, but you know what, it did not. And because of that, we're going to be able to take this match. So I can take like 4 Cross Chops, I get to the Rock Slide, I Rock Slide you down, drop a bunch of heavy rocks on this Obstagoon, and that's GG's. As you see here, that's something many people would not normally do. Normally, people would not sack a Shiftry lead against an AWAC, but you know what? Well, if that's a regular Shiftry, one full Foul Play actually doesn't kill. Alolan Marowak will actually live with a little bit of HP, but Shadow will fully take out an Alolan Marowak. I get match number 2. I think this one is where I lose the lead hard. Here's another very unorthodox play. I get a Skarmory, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to queue up to a foul play, and I will switch into my Deoxys defense. Now, I will catch this. If I know this is a Sky Attack, I'll eat it. If I know it's a Brave Bird, I will shield. Burb does so much damage, you don't want to eat a Burb. As you see here, I'm going straight for the Rock Slide, and I should be able to hopefully take a shield or do heavy damage. So that's why I run Rock Slide instead of Thunderbolt. It's cheaper, and it covers it has double coverage against flyers, which is one of the weaknesses to my team because I run Shiftry in the lead. As you see here, our favorite buddy Azu comes in. I hate this because I don't have Thunderbolt, and they don't fall for the Thunderbolt bait. What I will normally do in this plays is I will actually charge up to a Thunderbolt and then fake that I have it, then fire the Rock Slide. Fortunately, I don't get it, and they Hydro Pump me down. As you see here, with my expert energy management, I overfarm like a madman on this Azumarill. This Leaf Blade will take it out, and now I should be able to get to 2 foul plays on this Skarmory. You can tell I've ran this team a lot, because after you see here, this should bait the shield, and then I get to the Skarmory. Well, actually, I'll probably have to shield 1 Sky Attack, but then as you see here, I actually live enough to get to the foul play. Like I said, that's how you know I've played this team way too much. I get to the foul play. This should take out the Skarmory, and then you have 1 Mon in the back. I will automatically switch out because I don't want to get farmed, and it happens to be an Altaria. So, GG's. This is why I use Stun Fizz, because of the flyer pattern in the back. Why this dude's rocking double flyer in a... If you see 1 G-Fisk, it's pretty much GG's. So, I guess you draw out G-Fisk, but I don't get how this team operates. Anyways, all I have to do is Rock Slide down this Burb, and that's GG's. G-Fisk just so strong. This is why I replaced it. G-Fisk also has a very strong matchup against the Steel typings. You could still Dragon Breath down a Registeel and pretty much a G-Fisk, but it's 10 times harder with G-Fisk because G-Fisk gets to Rock Slide so quickly. So because it has that extra pressure, G-Fisk does better than Registeel. That's why once I knew that G-Fisk released, I was like, okay, you're replacing Registeel, like immediately. And it took me to rank 10 in Season 2. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the second battle. Again, you lose the flyer lead, you just queue up a foul play, switch out, and then you make things work. I get a rank 1, this is match number 4, and I get a Wigglytuff into a Shiftry. This is horrible, because you know Wigglytuff's Rock and Charm, right? Yes, it does. So I switch out into Deoxys defense. If I see a Charmer, I will switch immediately to DD, and hopefully I can take it back. Here I see a Nidoqueen. Now, this isn't actually a bad matchup. Nidoqueen isn't actually a bad matchup against my... it's actually not a bad thing in a team. The problem is it's kind of squishy, and I'm rocking Psycho Boost. My opponent was not expecting a Psycho Boost. That's why they took the Psycho Boost. Normally, Deoxys defenses are rocking Rock Slide Thunderbolt. I think until recently, Thunderbolt became more popular just because the Yazusei switch, but I like Rock Slide just because of pressure, and it works for my team well. That's how it works for this build. As you see here, I put heavy pressure on Psycho Boost. I should be able to take both of my opponent's shields because they have no idea how to handle it. And then I can get to the 3rd Psycho Boost before they ever get to another move. You can tell I've done a lot of... You can tell I've Psycho Boosted a lot of things. Yeah, I'm like the CEO of triple Psycho Boost, basically. It's an insanely difficult move to run, but if you run it expertly, it lets you take back Switch against so many things, it's ridiculous. But again, it's a really 9,000 IQ move to run, and not a lot of people like doing it because it does debuff you. As you see here, we get an Obstagoon into G-Fist. That's perfectly fine. I should be able to Earthquake down over here, and then I can basically switch into Shiftry if I wanted to, and then Leaf Blade down. But I think I do that. I think I switch out, and then I send in my... Yep, I do switch out. I have energy already queued because I got that 1 Snarl on that Wigglytuff. It only takes two more Snarls to get to a Leaf Blade, KO this thing. I'll get Charmed down, but basically Wigglytuff on my G-Fisk is GG's. Wigglytuff, this is probably a play rough. I can tank that. Even Ice Beam, I can take that too. And then I should be able to just get to an Earthquake. Rock Slide should kill here. I go for Earthquake, but I'm like, wait a minute, no, I'm in Rock Slide range. Around that, yeah, see, Rock Slide should be able to KO Wigglytuff at a certain range. And that's GG's. Match number 4 done. And here's match number 5. As you see, even if I lose the lead against Charmers, etc., even against Ice types, I have win cons. This team is so powerful if you know how to use it well, but it's very risky because Shiftry is squishy. This is going to be a good example of how you can take advantage of Shiftry and make it kind of a tank. As you see here, I can tank resisted. Shiftry can tank as a shadow, can tank a decent amount of resisted moves, even against an Electrode, as you see here, because Electrode has high attack. But I can tank Volt Switches is fine. This person's probably panicking because they're like, oh my gosh, this Shiftry does so much damage. I should be able to farm down here, and now I have a bunch of energy and basically end my opponent's life. I get a Charizard, and I'm like, oh great. So I fire the Foul Play, but I actually fire Leaf Blade. This should bait the shield because Foul Play does heavy damage. I'll let my Shiftry go because I want to maintain alignment. I have Rock Slide on my DD. I also have I have a whole G-Fist, so with shield advantage. So I pretty much have this match in the bag. But as you see here, Shadow Shiftry can take, like I said, a decent amount of damage if you play it well. But you need to have energy management, and you have to have insane amounts of confidence because Shadow Shiftry is really squishy. You will be tempted to switch out in a lot of scenarios because you see Shiftry's life going away pretty fast. But you really have to hold on, manage your energy, and be really confident in your ability to play the team. As you see here, I go for the Earthquake on the Wigglytuff because my opponent has no shields. All I have to do is just farm this down, and then I fire off the Earthquake. Charizard is double weak to Rock, so this Earthquake will Yichu the next dimension, and that's GG's. As you see, expertly played. I lost the lead a lot, but I still came into the W's. And as you see, expertly played. This team's incredible, and it got me to an 11-0 run for my Season 7 start. As you see here, you'll see shortly, that's the 11-0. There's the evidence right there, and this team does really, really well if you play it well. I wanted to go back to another team, but I looked at this team and I'm like, you know what? Let me try this team again, and I love this team. Again, it's a original creation of mine, and I've ran this core and just it took me to rank 10. It took me a legend, an innovation of mine, and I know how to play it, and it's just something super original, super gutsy, and really plays to my style. So love it. Hopefully, if you want to use it, watch the video below in the description. Again, it's an hour long, so you can kind of skip through parts if you want to see it. There's some like table of contents, etc. However, as you see, this team is insanely difficult. You have to have really good. You actually have to have a high level of energy management, as well as a higher level of shield management, as well as guts. Like I said, confidence is a key of this team. You need to be able to tank moves and be really confident and know your stuff. I have done so many simulations, so much scrimming with this team. I have over probably 1,000 battles with this team. That's how I know how to play it so well. The moves you saw there, they were very calculated, just because I knew how to play every scenario. It's the #1 team on PV Poke for a reason. I'm one of the few men and women and battlers, whichever one you want to call it, that actually made it and broke in a #1 team. That's really hard to do because hundreds of people are battling on the simulator every day, probably even more, and the results shot out to where I made #1. So my #1 PV Poke team got me an 11-0. Shadow Shiftry is a beast. Hope you guys enjoyed the battles. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing more. If you want to see more Shadow Shiftry stuff, I'll put more 5-0 stuff later. But anyways, good luck on your battles. It's a new season. If you did make Legend, now's your chance. Good luck on Go Battle League sets, and I'll see you guys on the next video.